Your Honor, I'm going to represent myself in this matter. And for the record, my name is Grayson Bay.
All right, City of Detroit versus Javar, Grayson Bay. Your offer, sir, is $240 fine, failure to display, and a seatbelt ticket. You pay those, we'll close the other matters out. That will abstract to the Secretary of State. And then the seatbelt ticket is $65. So $240, $65. We'll close the matters. We'll close the matters out. That'll be a failure to display. It will abstract, but it won't carry any points. And today is the date and time set for a trial.
Your Honor, today was supposed to be set for trial, and I don't consent.
This courtroom scene is nothing short of chaotic. It all kicks off with Grayson Bay, a self-proclaimed sovereign citizen, striding in like he's got it all figured out. He immediately challenges the judge's authority, insisting he doesn't consent to the trial, like he can just opt out as if it's some kind of group project. Spoiler: that's not how the legal system works. The judge shuts it down right away, making it crystal clear that his argument isn't going to fly.
Can you go in? Okay, there. I just gave you your offer, so you could.
I'm not accepting that. I won't accept that offer.
Mr. Corporal Ambrose, can you put your appearance on the record, please?
Good morning, Corporal Brian Ambrose. Detroit Police Badge 415.
Good morning to you. Okay, let's go. Are you ready to proceed, Corporal Ambrose?
Your Honor, I would object to holding this trial. I believe he stated that he's a different person. We have a ticket for a Mr. Javar Grayson. Grayson Bay is an entirely different person. We don't have jurisdiction over. We don't have a case over. I would object to holding that trial.
I'm going to deny the objection. He just said he's Grayson Bay. He just, I don't think he's objecting to.
I object to that, Your Honor. I'm objecting, and I also questioning jurisdiction.
Grayson Bay isn't just challenging the court. He's threatening to sue everyone if things don't go his way. Oh, and apparently, he sent some kind of cut-off law form to the officers involved, whatever that's supposed to mean. The level of delusion here is unreal. He's acting like the courtroom is his personal stage, but the judge isn't having any of it. Without missing a beat, the judge shuts down his objections, dismisses his sovereign citizen claims, and orders him to proceed. No matter how absurd things get, the judge stays unfazed. It's like watching.
Okay. Well, I'm denying your motion about jurisdiction, sir. The court has jurisdiction over you, so are you ready to proceed, Mr. Grayson Bay?
No, I'm not. I object to anything that you call yourself doing. Also, I'd like to add that I sent this Brian and brochure. I sent him a COL. It's a cut-off law form. I warned him about this situation. This process is also in Wayne County. He's being sued. We can continue this all day. I also will add you to the case if you want to continue this. This needs to be dismissed today.
And now for the best part. Without breaking a sweat, the judge casually points out the obvious. If Grayson Bay truly believes the court has no jurisdiction over him, then why is he even here? You can practically feel the eye roll through the screen. But Bay doesn't back down, still acting like he's holding some secret trump card that's about to flip the whole case upside down. Meanwhile, everyone else in the room knows exactly how this is going to end.
And I will see Brian Ambrose in 3 weeks in Wayne County.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and proceed because it's not going to be dismissed today. Okay.
Well,
so you want to do over in circuit court, then have your way. That is your right. I don't know how you're proceeding in circuit court when you feel that this court doesn't even have jurisdiction over you. So let's go ahead and proceed. Corporal Ambrose, you want to speak with them before we proceed, Ms. Snyder?
Yes, Your Honor, and I do think we just need to clear up on the record that Your Honor has denied my motion to not have this matter heard today based on this defendant saying he is not the defendant before us. And also that defendant has agreed that he is not the defendant before us, but Your Honor is telling us to still do this trial. I need to make sure that's clear on the record.
Yeah, I don't think that he's denying that he's not Javar Grayson Bay. Are you denying that you're not Javar Grayson Bay, sir?
I am the living person, Grayson Bay. And
The real kicker comes when the judge shuts it down completely. This isn't getting dismissed today. If you want to play games, take it to circuit court. Translation, nice try, but this is happening whether you like it or not. You'd think at this point Grayson Bay would realize the jig is up, but nope. He keeps doubling down, proving that some people genuinely believe they can outlast the law.
Right, so there it is. However he wants to articulate it, we'll let him articulate that. He's Grayson Bay. He's Javar Grayson Bay. His mom gave him that name. I don't think that's any dispute. Okay? So
that name has a social security card attached to it. It also has
I think it's going to be pretty quick, Ms. Snyder. I'll put you in the breakout room with Corporal Ambrose and put it that way. It is just an expired plate, a seatbelt ticket, no proof of insurance. What is this other thing? Refuse to exhibit license and a false information ID. So just join the breakout room, have a conversation with Corporal Ambrose, and then we'll just hear it. And if he has a right to remain silent, he says he doesn't want to be represented by a lawyer, and you can just put your case on the record, and I'll have to make a decision based on that.
But it's not working. In the end, Grayson Bay's attempt to take control of the courtroom, threaten lawsuits, and ignore legal procedures is only digging him into a deeper hole. This is a perfect example of why, when dealing with the law, it's best to stick to the facts instead of pushing bizarre, baseless arguments as, oh, what's next? Odds are, Bay will walk out of court with a hefty fine, maybe even contempt charges, and definitely a hard lesson in how not to handle legal proceedings. This whole situation is spiraling fast, and yet, he just keeps making it worse.
File an interlocutory appeal, Your Honor.
An interlocutory appeal on my motion, on your motion?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Or I suppose time to brief the issue, maybe on this record, or I'd leave in Your Honor's discretion.
Let's see does that interlocutory appeal, if that is,
I'm sorry, Your Honor. Are we back on the record for Grayson?
Yeah, let's go back on the record with Mr. Javar Grayson Bay. Now, is that interlocutory appeal? I mean, I have to proceed. I got the discretion of whether I want to allow you to do that or not, or just proceed, and you can file your appeal. Correct? Give me the law on that. You're muted, Miss. Snyder.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. My supervisor's talking to me over the wall, so it's hard to hear two people at once.
Okay.
The court rule is, I think she might be coming back. It's MCR 7.205.
205, application for leave to appeal, and you said what was the citation? What were the other?
7.212, but that's just saying the format for briefs.
I have 7.205 as application for leave to appeal. Appeals to circuit court. 7.105. If the order appeal is interlocutory, setting forth facts showing how the appellant would suffer substantial harm by awaiting final judgment before taking an appeal?
We believe that the substantial harm that the people would suffer would be the defendant has already stated he's filing numerous lawsuits against the court, against the parties, against the officer. We believe we'd be giving him a golden parachute. It's just one more issue to add to his level of appeals. This is one issue that needs to be clarified. Of course, he will be found, I believe, through fingerprints to be either the person given that ticket or Javar Grayson, the person given the ticket, will be given a capias warrant and we can move on. But I do believe that this issue needs to be handled before we make a further record. I have a duty to mitigate the city's damages. And I believe that's what we're doing and what I was advised to do by my supervisor.
But how would the city be harmed at all if we proceed? What would be any harm for the city? Especially if you acknowledge the fact that you think that by fingerprints that would be Mr. Javar Grayson.
But, Your Honor, what we think and what we can prove as a matter of the record and as the court of law is different. I do understand it. I believe he's being frivolous. I think he is wasting the court's time. But I do think that as lawyers, as a court of law who do have to face appellate issues, this is something that we need to clear up on the record and have a clear record, such as a chain of custody of who Mr. Grayson is. I don't think it would take that long. Or we could solve this today with giving Javar Grayson a capias warrant and let Bay, whoever he may be, go on about his business. Either or. But I do think that having this trial over both of our objections is not the correct answer.
I just don't feel. I just don't feel. One, I don't see any harm in proceeding. He's already indicated that he is Javar Grayson, except he wants to be acknowledged as Javar Grayson Bay, or he's the living. I don't know how he termed it. Person of Javar Grayson Bay. I don't think that, as a matter of fact, when Corporal Ambrose came in the room and introduced himself, I saw Mr. Grayson Bay sort of kind of had a look on his face, and to me, I took that look as he knows Corporal Ambrose, and there's no question. I haven't asked Corporal Ambrose is if this is the person that he pulled over, but I'll definitely let you ask Corporal Ambrose that. But I don't think that there is any sort of identity issue here. I think the issue comes into something that we've seen probably, I don't know how many times, and I'm sure we're going to see it more in the future. And I agree that those things are frivolous and they do not apply. So I don't see anywhere where we...
Grayson Bay is now outright refusing to identify himself as the defendant, insisting he's just a living person. At this point, he's turning the courtroom into a full-blown sideshow. His behavior is completely disrespectful, and honestly, the judge has shown an impressive level of patience. But let's be real, Bay is practically daring the judge to hold him in contempt. Yet somehow, he's still standing there without facing any real consequences. Meanwhile, the prosecutor has had enough. The frustration is obvious as they push for a warrant, arguing that Bay is refusing to cooperate or represent himself in any reasonable way. But Judge Perkins, staying sharp and decisive, isn't entertaining the nonsense. He's done with the delays and refuses to waste any more time or taxpayer money on Bay's antics. It's almost as if the judge knows that giving him more attention will only feed into his delusions.
Put on a identity defense and say, that wasn't me. He didn't. That wasn't the defense. I don't know what his defense is going to be.
Your Honor, may I?
No, you can't. No, you can't. No. When I ask you to, when I want you to speak,
no
I'll allow
problem.
you to speak. I'm going to give you that opportunity.
No problem.
So, to settle this matter about your objection, it's like if the court rules bound me not to proceed because you wanted an interlocutory appeal, then that would be the court rules would bind me to do so. But I don't know of a court rule that's going to bind me not to appeal. And I just don't see in what harm it will be to any other parties, the defense or the city, by us proceeding in this fashion. I understand he's got cases over in circuit court. He may have cases over in federal court. I don't know. But here again, we're here. The parties are present, and I'm satisfied at least that that's the Mr. Javar Grayson Bay, that we have the right person here in court today. So I'll let you make a last minute record, Ms. Schneider.
Can I just have one? My supervisor walked away. Can I have 1 second to go talk to her?
Yes. Now you can. Well, let's see if you want to. If Mr. Grayson has anything, I'm going to allow him an opportunity to speak so you can hear what he has to say. Go ahead, Mr. Grayson Bay.
Your Honor, I sent you a declaration of notice stating who I am and the fraud, Javar Grayson. I sent you the paperwork. This was over 3 or 4 months ago. I'm pretty sure you have plenty of time to read and understand the situation. And that, like I said, again, that is my declaration of.
It's technically a legal term for an appeal before the final judgment, but let's be honest. The prosecutor's motion feels more like a last-ditch effort to escape dealing with this circus for even one more second. However, the judge isn't budging. They're firm in their decision to move forward, refusing to let Bay derail the process. And just like that, the situation spirals even further. Grayson Bay, refusing to back down, starts demanding more appeals and motions, most of which make little to no sense.
Further?
And I object to this. And again, your court system has no jurisdiction over it.
Give me a point to a court rule or put your legal objection on the record. What is your objection?
My objection is jurisdiction.
Okay, well, I deny that objection. All right. All right, go ahead, Ms. Snyder. We'll pass the matter. We'll allow you to speak with your supervisor. All right, let's go back on the record with Mr. Grayson Bay. Are you there, Mr. Grayson Bay?
Yes, I am.
What I will do, listen, Ms. Snyder, let's go back on the record with Ms. Grayson. What I will do is I will pass this matter and I will reset this trial date for an in-person, because I think this is one that needs to be in person. We can't. It's been some stuff that Mr. Grayson Bay has said that he has filed with this court. He says he sent me some stuff. I don't have that in front of me. There's it in the file. And this one seems like it's going to necessitate some. It's going to necessitate a trial, and I think that this one is best to be done in person. So what I will do is I will reset this trial date. That will give me an opportunity, one, to get the documents that, if they exist, that Mr. Grayson Bay has said that he has filed with this court. And then two, that will have both of the parties here in person. All right. So I'm going to reset this matter for a January 9th in-person trial date. Now that's going to. Now let me ask you this, sir. You understand you have a right to a trial by jury, correct? Mr. Grayson Bay?
I'm just challenging jurisdiction. Also, for the record, I sent Detroit Police Department 12th Precinct a declaration of notice. I also sent them a COL, which is a color of law.
Listen, Mr. Grayson Bay. Listen, Mr. Grayson Bay.
This has officially turned into a standoff. Judge Perkins' authority versus Grayson Bay's delusions of grandeur. Everyone in the room already knows how this will end, and spoiler, Bay is going to lose in spectacular fashion. The only question is, how many more delays will he throw out before that inevitable moment? Grab the popcorn. This one's going in the books. Bay is testing everyone's patience, turning the proceedings into a frustrating circus. He keeps objecting to everything, challenging the court's jurisdiction, and stalling at every turn. On top of that, he insists on being recognized by his self-declared identity and keeps filing so-called notices that hold zero legal weight. The prosecutor has clearly had enough. They've called out Bay's arguments as completely frivolous and unnecessary, but they're also treading carefully, making sure every step is handled by the book.
No, it's not going to be a breakout room with him. Let's get him a jury trial date.
Oh, jury trial.
Yes. Let's just go ahead and he's not running this show.
I have a judge just talking the whole.
Okay.
Do you have somebody that you want to assign to this case?
Not necessarily. I mean, anybody can, I'm sure, handle it.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you.
Yeah, let's get it.
If Miss, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking. Let's go off the record. Miss Harris, do you want the case of the Gomez Lopez?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
Okay.
I can't hear no more.
Everybody here.
No, it's not. We're not talking about your case. We're off the record with your case. We get a jury trial date. Let a jury of his peers make the determination.
And I think we'll clean up the record issue within the person.
Judge. Let me know when you're ready for the date.
All right, let's get a jury trial date. Tuesday, December the 5th, jury trial.
Don't get it.
We'll not schedule anything else on that day.
Okay.
Tuesday, December the 5th, 9 a.m. we will do. As far as motions are concerned, I'm going to set some motion dates.
Cover his ass.
So, what was that comment, sir? Mr. Grayson Bay?
Yes, sir. What's going on?
Was that comment?
No comment. Listening. Let's go.
All right. Let's set a motion date for November the 10th. That's when Mr. Grayson.
That's Veterans Day.
By your ear.
Okay, good. Let's set motion due. Well, the motion will be due by November. Motions due by November the 9th. That's for both parties. The responses to the motions will be by November the 17th, and we will set a final pretrial date a day before on December the 4th, 2023. So technically, you'll have a court date that can be, you can be on Zoom for the final pretrial date of December 4th. If there hasn't any resolution, I'll get my ruling on the motions on that day. And then we'll set the jury trial date for December the 5th, 2023 at 9 a.m. All right? You got that, Mr. Grayson Bay?
No, there. You gave me 10 dates, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you a declaration.
I did not give you 10 dates.
I count. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. I got December the 5th, December the 4th. I got November the 9th. I got also November the 17th for a response.